Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our commission meeting for the 21st of January. And Anthony, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. All right, let's get started here. Miss Tara.
Good everything this morning. So regular exonerations.
Okay.
One combined, one divide, and then one refund.
Got to do three different transactions here.
The exonerations?
Yeah.
I have no problem with any of the exonerations. Do you?
Okay, go ahead.
I move that we approve the exonerations.
Second. Have a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Then.
We have
Any
combined
problem?
and
No problem. I move that we approve the divide and segregated land combined.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we have a refund exoneration, so I'll motion to approve that.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, you separated them. Two. Three. All right, anything on vouchers and invoices? You got these two, Tara?
Yes.
Tara.
Go ahead, Allison.
Yeah, a couple of things. One of the fire departments had submitted a receipt for groceries. GIA did not reimburse that, and I agree with that. And then also, they had claimed $2.52 of tax, the same fire department. So, the other thing is, I was discussing with Josh Davis, one of his expenses, the 2.2 hours for talking to Michael and me and Smithers, which seemed to me to be more of a fire association responsibility, but he's in training right now and wasn't able to answer me yet. So I move that we approve them all except those three things. So that's $232.28 for Walmart. That was all groceries. $2.52 in tax on a Lowe's receipt. And then the 2.2 hours of Josh's invoice until we resolve that.
Now, you're saying that you're questioning the need for him to speak with Michael Taylor and yourself and the commission as a representative?
No, I'm questioning what role he was serving in when he did that. Whether it was the fire association role or whether it was his role as doing stuff for all of the fire departments. That John was doing the same thing and he's not getting paid for it. So I just want to talk to Josh some more about it because it was I haven't spoken to him 2.2 hours worth. I also wanted to talk to Michael. So I'm not saying we shouldn't consider paying it. I'm just saying I'd like more information before we do.
Yeah, but since we don't have a fire coordinator, we have to have some liaison to go between. And I thought we designated that there would have one, and that's why we wouldn't pay John and Mr. Davis. We would pay one, and I think they are kind of following our lead.
There are a lot of different expenses that are related to that position on there that I'm not questioning. This one I am because it seems like a fire association role and not a county role and not a county fire coordinating role. And that is why I want to talk to Josh more about it, about the substance and why and the amount of time. but he was unavailable. I wasn't able to look at it last night, and he's in training this morning. So I'm just asking that we defer that one until next meeting. That's only $44 worth of reimbursement that we would defer.
And the other expenditures that you did not want to take on, they are not on the invoices. They were taken off, correct?
Gia did not reimburse them. Yes, she recognized them as food and tax that aren't reimbursable, but they are still in the packet. So I wanted to mention them for the record.
And your motion is to pay the vouchers and invoices except for Mr. Davis's submission.
No, I think his whole submission should be approved except for that one item, that 2.2 hours for the phone calls. And that's $44 worth. And then the $232.28 for what looks like to be groceries for a Christmas party or something for one of the fire departments. And then $2.52 a tax from Lowe's that wouldn't be reimbursable.
But again, I don't see them on here. I see Josh Davis's, but I do not see the expenditures you're talking about with the grocery. So they did not add them to the vouchers and invoices. However, they did add Joshua Davis invoice 19 for that.
They're in there. They're in the packet.
They're not on the reimbursement. No. They're not on the reimbursement. So your motion is to pay all except for Josh Davis's. Is that correct?
My motion is to pay all except for the 2.2 hours for Josh Davis. The rest of his voucher should be paid.
Okay. I want to make another motion.
She made the motion, so you want a second?
No.
Okay.
I think we've instructed him to tell us. The discussion of this was, I think we don't have a fire coordinator. We've instructed Mr. Davis to.
You don't understand the distinction I'm making here. There's a difference between the fire coordinator's responsibilities and the fire association's responsibilities. And I think this is a fire association role. And that's why I want to talk to Josh more before we pay it. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I want more information.
I understand what you're saying, but I understand that we
do
not have a fire coordinator. We have to rely upon someone from that agency or that division to speak with us. And we're limiting his ability to speak to us or want to speak to us. I'm saying that we put him in a position and now we're punishing him for that position.
We're not punishing him. We're trying to get more information before we spend the taxpayers' money on something that may not be in that position. There's a whole voucher worth of things where he served in that position that he's getting reimbursed for. So how you just characterize that is false. It's patently false and misleading. No, and misleading. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you're sticking up for your buddy, but right now I'm questioning this. I'd like more information before we approve it. That's all I'm asking. And he's not available to give it right now. He texted me and told me he was in training. And I'm sure he wouldn't have a problem with waiting and giving more information. It's $44. The rest of the voucher is in there. And all those, he served in that responsibility. He's being paid for it. So he's not getting shorted.
Your motion's on the floor.
Yes, and you guys can do what you want with it.
I make a motion that we pay the vouchers and invoices as presented on the submission.
Could somebody remind Commissioner Fournette about how the rules work? This motion has to be dispensed with first.
Yes. So I propose that we discuss this in executive session and then come back out and revisit the vouchers and invoices.
Just leave the motion pending. That's fine.
And the purpose of going into executive session is to get legal advice?
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Silverberty.
Certainly, Mr. Brentman. My pleasure.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
do you want to just do that when we go in for the other items, John?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's on hold. Okay. Prior meeting minutes.
I just got those kind of late last week, so they're not ready. And I don't even have the ones from the last meeting, but I got the December 10th ones.
I'm in the process of finishing up the January 7th minutes, so I should have those definitely by the end of the week, if not sooner.
Okay, and if possible, if you could get the ones from this meeting to me before next meeting, that'd be great. We need to try to get those caught up.
Yes, I agree, and thank you for that reminder.
Estate settlements.
I move we approve them.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Huh?
Did you approve that?
Oh.
No, we didn't. You're right,
Not
Ruth.
yet.
Thank
Not
you.
No.
Okay. Somebody motion for payroll?
Move to approve payroll.
Second. Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ruth.
You're welcome. Okay, so you have the budget memo that you sent out to the elected officials.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you'll hear budget presentations.
Yes, I have no issues with that. Can we stamp your name, Allison?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'll move to approve the budget letter.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So the next item is a $2 investment to a emergency management grant. You just have,
Did you say $2?
yes, I did.
Yep, yeah.
It's a $2 reduction.
Yeah, a $2 change.
I'm afraid that'll break the county. We can't approve that.
Here.
You all.
Okay, well, I move we approve the adjustment on the grant.
The top line where it says.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And the next item is at maybe the last meeting. Jenna Belcher asked that you guys reiterate your priority list.
For economic development.
Right. And I think that'll be tied to the fourth item, just the congressionally directed spending requests. If they have those this year, you need to probably tie that to your priorities. And this is me just saying, we all set a list and tell us what you want us to potentially apply for.
Well, do we have a copy of the former ones? Because we have been submitting the same ones, and I think Commissioner Fournette needs to see that, and then we all need to look at it and see if that's what we still want to request. I think some of that stuff has been funded through other sources over time, but like the infrastructure requests haven't.
All right, so we will dig through the files and find what was submitted previously. A lot of what was submitted before was tied to like Region 4 and
Right.
so.
Right. But there were, I think we had a couple of things for the sheriff's department in there that have been funded and things like that too.
They have.
Yeah.
So you're just going to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah. And then we could take a look and make sure that's still what our priorities are. But you haven't seen it and I haven't seen it for a long time. So I think I have a vague idea of what's on it, but I want to make sure we're still, a lot of things have changed since then.
Okay, so I will motion to move number 3 and number 4 to the 30th.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 5 and number 6 we'll do in executive session.
For like 7 and 8.
7 and 8, the same thing. And we'll be going there to get information from our attorneys.
So, John, I'm going to ask Jenna Belcher to put together a list for us with recommendations on the economic development priorities. I know she briefed us on it last meeting, but I have an idea of what they are, but there may be others that aren't on the list that she briefed us that we might want to consider.
Okay, you'll have that by the 30th?
Well, I'm going to ask her for it. We'll see.
Okay, I'll write it in my book here. Allison.
I am texting her right now.
That has moved that up. It was this one.
Earl.
Okay. We actually have 15 minutes before we go into the real estate hearing. So we'll go ahead and take a break now.
Take a break or go into executive session?
Well, we can cover a few things in executive session.
We probably can.
Yeah, because we have quite a few things to discuss in there. Okay, we just come out of executive session, no decisions were made, and is now time for our 9:30 hearing with the Odessa Ruth Long estate. Sorry about that. Anthony,
Yes, sir.
turn it over to you.
Heard it over the day.
Yes, sir.
It is the devil versus. Well, John, basically, is Allison back on? Not yet.
Oh, she's not back on yet? Okay.
Is there a Smithers City Council meeting today? Mr. Ciliberti,
Yes, sir.
do you know if there's a Smithers City Council meeting today?
I don't know.
Gia would go.
Gia?
Yeah.
I think there is.
Having once a month, or at least that was the schedule when I was there.
John. I think there is too. I got a message from John.
Mhm.
So I think,
Greg, do you mind stepping out there and telling Michael that we're waiting on Allison for this hearing?
Good, how are you, Robert? Oh, well. Yeah. Basically, what we can use, isn't it? Oh, like for Facebook. Yeah. I want to hear you always your smile. Feel better after looking at you. Smile.
Okay, everybody, let's get back together. Allison's cut on now. So Anthony,
So essentially, there are two issues before the county commission from the estate. The first issue stems from a hearing held before the fiduciary commissioner Gavin Ward. According to Mr. Ward's order, that hearing took place on November 20th of 2024. The order from that hearing was not distributed until November 7th of 2025, in case you're wondering about the date. So I have no reason to believe that the date of the hearing is not accurate. So essentially, there were claims filed against the estate by two of the heirs. Brenda K. Berner filed as a creditor against the estate, a claim for $18,617.49 for reimbursement of expenses. And then Stephen D. Long, as a creditor, filed a claim against the estate to the sum of $319,814 for items that he believes were stolen from the estate. So Mr. Ward in rendering his opinion, basically denied both claims. So the commission has the option of, I believe, accepting or rejecting the order. I believe you could take evidence on these issues if you wanted to, or you could simply accept his order. I mean, rejecting his order, I don't know that that would accomplish anything simply because the issues would then remain outstanding. I would say that, you know, insofar as Mr. Long's allegations that items were stolen from the estate, I don't believe that's an appropriate claim to file against the estate. That's a claim, in my opinion, should be filed by the administrator of the estate against the individuals that the administrator believes committed the theft, and or it should be reported to law enforcement for investigation. As for the first claim filed by Ms. Berner, Mr. Ward doesn't really give an explanation for why he rejected it. He simply says it's reimbursement of expenses from February 2021 to January of 2024. But there is no basis. There is no basis in the order to explain why he rejected that particular claim. But I'll leave it up to the commission. If the commission adopts the order, then the heirs certainly have the ability to appeal what the commission does to the circuit court.
Anthony, didn't we discuss at one point deferring to the circuit court about this because of the other pending case? Isn't there, or is this that?
That's a different estate.
Okay, it is. Okay, all right.
There's another estate in which there's underlying litigation that's kind of tangentially involved with the estate, and basically the commission ordered to refer everything to the circuit court.
Okay.
But this is not that case.
Okay, just making sure. It's like kind of running together right now.
Okay, Counselor, would you like to step up here to the microphone and
Commissioners, I'm going to do this as best from memory as I can. And hopefully nothing will be represented badly. But it was a very contentious proceeding we had with Gavin Ward presiding over. Ultimately, and it should be fleshed out more, but as the commission is aware, there's an obligation for executors, for administrators, to make certain that they are able to communicate and kind of keep the peace almost to a degree. It's the spirit of the statutes. And there's a little peace to be found. These are probably individuals that in other respects throughout their lives are very peaceful people. But whenever it comes to what they think should happen with the estate and the personality of the estate, my client did notify, because there were garish large amounts of very personal things removed and things of value. I understand him faulting on the side of not making it so overt as to throw stones at people who probably would have been entitled to a portion of that, just because we normally make such things available when someone passes away, that loved ones can get certain things. But the problem with this, as I see it, was that my client, in trying to keep that peace in the initial stages before things became irreparable, was experiencing some of that, trying not to call people out for theft. And that being said, he has made a referral to law enforcement. He did make a referral, to all the appropriate individuals he would need to, and went through those channels. It wasn't something that he did initially, because again, the code really insists on executors being able to keep the peace and acclimate and get along with individuals that are heirs. So I just want to mention that was some of the motivation behind what you're seeing.
Who did he refer it to, Mr. Dunlap? Which law enforcement agency, and when did he do it?
If you don't mind, I can get you the name of the officer, but I'm over 50, so I'm going to lean over to him and ask him the name, because it's flowing right out of my head. And I'm going to use that 50 thing for as much mileage as I can get. What was the name of the officer?
Brian Fernandez. Okay, that's sheriff's department.
It is a sheriff's department officer, but I couldn't remember the last name.
He's over there at the sheriff's department, Fayetteville. He's a detective.
Understood. And we've kind of, I think that was sort of last resort because we don't want to call family out on. And then, of course, just to be.
Well, my other question was, when was that reported to Detective Fernandez?
Fernandez was the second, you recall the first time you communicated with them, when it was roughly?
It's been over a year ago.
Right, but roughly because she's taking notes and we want
Yeah,
her to be clear.
The day that I came back in the house, it took me 6 months
Right.
to go through, stuff. Then I found out that they had took stuff out and put their own furniture in the house and took my mom's furniture out. And they left junk in there for me to sell. So we lost all the money. And so the woman is sending you a check for what's the remaining.
Right.
And so the same day that I was signed in, Secretary of the State over here, that was the same day that I had a locksmith, Van Dyke Lock and Key, to come and get in the house. And I noticed all this stuff was gone. I also, at that time, I FaceTimed my brother Kenny Long. I FaceTimed Brian Berry to show him what all's been gotten out of the house.
I understand. And so, ma'am, I hope that answers your question. I'm afraid we could go down rabbit holes if we're not careful.
No, that's enough. That told me
Yeah.
what I wanted to know.
Yeah, we did have a really long hearing, and to Mr. Ward's credit, he has a level of patience most don't achieve. Just hearing all sides that day, making sure everyone was heard. But I hope that clarifies. Did the commissioners have another direct question I could help with?
And that's it for now. Thank you. For me.
Thank you.
Mr. Shilliberty, do you have any questions?
I'm not going, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay. But that being said, folks, I think that what Judge Ewing's order anticipated was a sale. What my client had to answer for in that hearing, the large ticket item, was why has this property not been sold? Those enormous binders are full of photographs, and I'll spare you the headache of looking at them all, of, yes, furniture that was traded out, but more importantly, the massive amounts of repairs that he had to do to make the house sellable, because it was not, he wouldn't have been able to comply with the judge's order and just sell the property.
If I may, that issue is not before the commission.
Understood. Where the ultimate issue for the heirs is, I'm trying to give equal time to everybody, is because they don't have a representative here, is that, they were upset that the property didn't get sold quickly, just to be brief. And the end of that was we do have an agreement to sell the house finally. So there's an order pending with the circuit court currently with Judge Fox. He may have already granted it, but that'll issue a grant for the sale of the property, because we can't get this many people all on the same page. Fractional share owners expect more than they would be entitled. People who are allegedly took things out of the home, which should be subtracted from their share, are not going to agree. So I apologize, Mr. Silver. I just wanted to give a full picture of what the other heirs' concern was.
Was the home appraised?
There was, let's see, we had one or two real estate agents come through and essentially arrive at a market value that they believed it would sell for. And it still took some time. And then my client had to do an enormous amount of repairs to get it financeable, if that's a word we can use. But yes, ma'am, I can ask my client that explicitly if you'd like.
And just to let the commission know, I thought the sensible way of dealing with this was to deal with each individual order separately. And the first issue in front of the commission is whether or not to accept the fiduciary commissioner's determination that the two claims were rejected. I know there's other heirs that have appeared here personally, and I know that there are heirs, I believe, on Zoom. So my suggestion would be we address this first issue, and then we can move on to the second issue, which is whether or not to accept the fiduciary commissioner's recommendation that Mr. Long be removed and that the sheriff of Fayette County be appointed. I would suggest that the commission ask if any of the heirs want to address the denial of the claims filed against the estate in which were disallowed by Mr. Ward.
So do we have any of the other claimants to discuss or to talk at?
Some of the people who are in this.
I would
if
like
the members are heirs.
Just 1 second, ma'am, on Zoom. If you come on up here to the microphone and give us your name.
Are
Ma'am,
you speaking to me?
no, it'd be just 1 second with you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes, thanks. My name is James Long. And I was the first executor. My mom wanted me to have that because the reason she wanted me to have that was because my two brothers brought a lawsuit against my mom. And mom wanted me to take her to the lawyer to get a will made. I had that will made in Charleston. And Stevie and Kenny, they haven't been to mom's house for, I'd say, 7, 8 years. They were there first, and Stevie and Kenny was there. Stevie and Kenny took mom out of the nursing home and took her out barefooted. The lady at BB&T called me and told me that Stevie and Kenny drawed out every bit of mom's money that she had and closed accounts out. The lady from BB&T called me and told me that. Now, Stevie is just Stevie. He's a bad person.
And commissioners were again getting outside the scope.
Yep.
of
Okay.
what the-
Yep. We just need to stay with the matter at
Okay.
hand.
And the house, they were nothing taken out of that house. Me,
Okay, and again, we're not here to litigate what was stolen. I mean, what we need to hear about is the two claims that were filed against the estate and
okay,
whether or
all
not.
right, the claim $300,000 that Stevie's claiming that was taken out of the house. You want me to talk about that?
Do you agree with or disagree with the?
I
fiduciary?
disagree with that. Totally, because there was
You
nothing
sir.
taken out of that house.
Let me finish, please. Do you disagree with the fiduciary commissioner's decision? And if so, why?
Oh, no, I don't disagree with that. I agree with that. I think it needs to be discharged.
Do you agree that both of these claims should be disallowed?
Well, now the reason my sister had that 18,000 on there is way back. My two sisters used to take care of my mom, got her out of the nursing home, took care of her. They quit their jobs in Ohio and they came and took care of mom in Oak Hill. Took mom all kind of places and everything like that. But, they took care of mom. And they, let's see where I'm at. Brenda and Joy stayed there with mom. They had to pay like utility bills, stuff like that. There was a time Stevie came in and called the power company and had the power turned off while mom was still there in the house living.
Were these expenses paid while your mother was still alive?
Yes, my sister paid them.
I suspect that's the reason why the fiduciary commissioner does not complain.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I think they both probably should be denied. Refused.
And they were by the fiduciary.
Yeah.
Fiduciary commissioner denied both claims.
If that's what you all chose to rule on. But I'm just here to tell you,
And it was my intention, commissioners, to, as far as replacing the administrator or executive of the state, that we handle that separately. Because these two issues are completely unrelated. They're not connected. We've got two separate orders. I thought it would make sense to deal with the first issue. And then we would move on to what is clearly going to be the more contentious of the two.
Yes.
So everybody will have the chance to address who handles the estate from here on out. It's just, I thought we would get through the part regarding these two claims.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Next.
Is there anybody
Can I
else?
speak?
This young lady here would like to.
Come on up.
Those of us on Zoom can't see that there are people in line, John. That's why the
Oh.
woman on Zoom keeps speaking up.
I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
So who?
I'm Bethel Ann Bentley. And I want to address your first question. I do not think Stevie should take control of selling the house. I think the sheriff should.
Ma'am,
Yes,
the two claims that were denied by the fiduciary commissioner. Do you agree with the fiduciary commissioner's decision to deny those two claims?
you have to explain what.
Can we ask you, do you understand what? the
No, I don't.
claims were?
I don't understand.
Can you kind of sum it up for?
I'm sorry.
There were two claims filed against the estate, one by Stephen Long and one by
Oh.
Brenda Byrne.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
and the fiduciary commissioner denied both of those claims. Do you agree with the fiduciary commissioner's decision?
No, I don't.
Can you explain to the commission why?
Okay, yes, I can. My sister Brenda, as my brother said, she paid the utilities while mother was living. But when mother passed away, which today is the 5th year of mother's anniversary of being in heaven. Okay, today's the 5th year, a complete circle. Okay, from there, my sister paid for garbage, she paid for power, she paid for all of the utilities, she paid to have cameras to watch the house in case somebody broke in or anything. You know, all of the everything that you have to pay for in order to live in a home, she paid for it until they took Brenda and all of us out of there and gave everything to Steve. So that is why my sister Brenda has all of that money, because that and all the records are in the courthouse here of every expense that she paid for it, every utility. I mean, she had to turn those in all the time. So they're here recorded, as record. So that's what that's for after mom passed. So she should be reimbursed. I mean, and then as far as the 319,000, I think anybody can go on the internet and see what Steve has listed under that 319,000 that he said we stole. Some of it is baseball cards, just the most expensive baseball cards there is. There's just a few of them. There's watches, there's guns, there's knives, but I have to say this too. He also has a lawyer in Kentucky, and for his ex-wife, I know this is different, but he is claiming the same things. No, wait a minute.
Okay.
He's claiming the same things.
Claim was denied. You agree with the denial of Stephen Long's claim?
I say it should be denied.
Okay, so
But not my sister's. My sister should not be denied. She spent all that money herself, keeping the house, so the house would not depreciate and not, you gotta have heat there. And then they had to have maintenance my brother paid for them to come and repair, had faucets put on, new faucets put on the kitchen sink and stuff.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it. Okay. Anyone else here in the room?
I would wait until they were done and I'll let them.
My sister's on Zoom.
Yes. Okay. Ma'am, you're on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Brenda Berner. And
Okay.
I would like to start off saying that my brother Steve Long has not been in mom's home since I think 2009, 10, or 11, maybe 10 or 11.
Okay.
He's never
Again,
even walked in.
Ma'am,
Yes.
we're not concerned about that.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
two
then I
matters
will-
at hand that we need to know an answer to.
Okay, first of all, I did what my sister just said. My mother did pay all the bills, and then sometime I would help her pay the bills. But when my mother passed away in 21, I paid all the bills until Stevie took guardianship. Now, Stevie claimed that things were stolen. We have cameras there. Stevie tore the camera down like maybe 4 or 5 months into.
Ma'am, we don't care about the cameras.
Okay, then what would you like for me to say? I feel my claim should go through because I took care of the properties, all that stuff. I took care of it for until Stevie took over. I paid it all. Judge Ewing said 3 times in a hearing that he feels that I should be entitled to that. Now I feel that my claim that 18, whatever it is, 6 something, I feel that it should go through because that's legit. You guys have it listed in the proper records. And I feel that Stevie's claim should be denied.
Okay, well, that's what we need to.
Yes.
I'm sorry that I guess I didn't understand.
Okay, well,
I was
thank you very
trying to-
much. Okay,
Is there anyone else that wants to address the 2 claims? Any of the heirs?
If you dialed in on a phone, you'll have to hit *6 on your keypad.
I'm sorry?
There is no pull. It may log on, may not, that's my concern, yeah. Your job is making sure it's used. They show.
Wilmer? Anyone indicating they want to speak?
No.
As far as the first order, I've not heard anything that would lead me to conclude that the commission should do anything other than adopt the determination of the fiduciary commission.
I agree with that, and I think if Ms. Berner wants to appeal, she could appeal us and get that case back before one of the circuit judges.
The commission, and the reason I didn't say anything is because as it's an active investigation, we would also have to appeal on newly discovered evidence if they make findings that there should be an offset. So I didn't stand up and address just because I feel like law enforcement will do their jobs and we'll go from there.
May I speak?
Not at this time, Ms. Berner.
Okay.
Okay, so the commission, did we vote on the first order?
no, do we do them, you want to do them both at the same time or what, go separately?
I think we should,
It's up to you.
I think we should go them separately, but.
All
I
right,
think they're-
so let's, as far as order
I'll make-
number 1, go ahead, Allison.
I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendations of the fiduciary commissioner with regard to denying the 2 claims.
Second.
Got a motion to second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So the fiduciary commissioner's ruling as to the 2 claims will be adopted and upheld. Now, the second, more contentious issue has to do with who is going to be responsible for handling the estate. The fiduciary commissioner has recommended that Mr. Long be removed as the executor. And the fiduciary commissioner has recommended that the sheriff of Fayette County be appointed as executor. The commission at this point has 3 options. You can adopt the fiduciary commissioner, well, actually 2 options. You can adopt the fiduciary commissioner's recommendation, remove Mr. Long and appoint Sheriff McMullen. Or the commission can appoint someone else other than Mr. Long to handle the estate. So I think what would be appropriate at this point would be for the heirs who want to weigh in, they need to explain to the commission whether you agree with the removal of Mr. Long as the executor of the estate. And if you do believe that Mr. Long should be removed, who would you like to see the commission appoint as the executor and why. If you want to be appointed as executor, you need to let the commission know that.
And afterward, I'd like us to go into executive session to discuss it.
May I speak?
Could you identify yourself, please?
The person that said, may I speak, would you identify yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Scott Berry, and I feel Stevie's done a lot of work on that house to bring it back to selling code and everything. I think Stevie should remain as the executor. He's done a fine job fixing the house up and everything. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mr. Barry, while you're there, could you weigh in on those other two issues? Well, never mind. We voted on that. Forget it.
Ma'am, would you like to speak?
Yes, I'd like to ask the other things. I would like to ask Scott Berry, when was the last time he was in the house when Mom was living?
Ma'am,
that's not
relevant.
issue.
We would really like to know if you have someone that would like to be considered as executive.
No, I'm sorry. Can I say why I don't want Steve to be?
Yes.
Yes, you can say why you don't.
Okay. To start off with, everything he said about the house is totally wrong. We had pictures. He gave the lawyer pictures of the house about like this when it caught fire, electrical fire in 2011. Not what it looked like when we left the house and he got the house. No furniture was ever taken out of that house. Any neighbor could ever see. We've never taken anything out. We've never put any furniture in there, except when Brenda bought a refrigerator, and that's her refrigerator. She bought it herself, and just furniture added to that my sister bought, couch, refrigerator, and stuff. But what he's saying is totally false. I mean,
So you feel that he should not be an executive because you're not being approved?
I would like to have a report from the two. We need to see the report from the sheriff that he filed 2 reports on. We need to know something what those reports are about. We know nothing about the reports.
Who would you like to see handle the estate of the commission?
The sheriff.
You want the sheriff to handle the
Yes.
sale?
Yeah. Yeah, the sheriff.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else?
I'll second that.
So you say you agree with your sister?
Is Rob, you go?
I'm gonna wait till people in Zoom line have an opportunity to speak.
Who-
We're defending his position as commissioner.
Who was the person who seconded the sheriff?
That was James.
James.
Okay, thank you.
Is Miss Burner,
Yes,
do you want to weigh in on the issue of removing your brother as executor and who you would like to see handle the estate?
yes, I'd like to see him removed and I'd like to see the sheriff take over.
Okay, why do you want the sheriff to take over and not one of the heirs?
Because all of the family members, as you know, is in disagreement. The sheriff would be fair. And I really feel that if someone else had it, then the family members, the sale of the house could have been done a long time ago. I have brought this before the commissioner, not the commissioner, the judges, like 4 times to have him removed. All the way back in 24, all the way up here. Stevie had an auction. We don't know nothing. He doesn't communicate with us. He doesn't talk to us. Other than when he wants to sell a house, he threatens us and then sends a bunch of texts. He doesn't do anything other than that but to sell of the house. And we have been in court over and over and over. and I have to work 2 jobs. I'm the only one that works because I gave up 12 and a half years of my retirement, and he doesn't even care. So I have to work to make a living. And I just feel the sheriff would be fair.
Okay. Is there anybody else on Zoom that would like to weigh in on the removal of Mr. Long as executor and the appointment of a new executor?
Yes, I would like to speak up.
What is your name, please?
My name is Tammy Pruden. I am the daughter of Joyce Berry.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I say keep Steve. We're almost at the end of this now, so he can
Sorry,
finish it.
ma'am, I'm sorry, you cut out. Did you repeat? Could you start from the beginning, please? You cut out.
I said I would like to keep Stevie as the executor. We're almost at the end of this, and he can just see it through.
Anyone else? Robert, do you want to make a question?
And I'll be brief, folks. Frankly, I think the commission sort of sees what we're working with. We just have a lot of really divergent opinions and feelings, and it doesn't matter what one side says. It doesn't matter what is done. The other side seems to always sort of infer nefarious activity, and as such, it doesn't matter what you do. You didn't hear anything about, even since the last hearing, the city putting a ton of personality from the home into a storage facility. My office notifying folks that it was in a storage facility. They could come by my office and pick up a key and go take any of the personal things that really aren't worth a lot, but they mentioned them in the proceeding as things that they cared about.
Well, you're.
So the point is, we and I apologize, my client is a little hard of hearing. That being said, we made the key available, hoping that the family, and some did. But the initial response I got for the first couple of weeks was, no, we don't authorize you to rent a storage facility. That's a waste of money. Don't do that. We'll go into the house. Well, the problem is going into the house means we all have this knockdown drag out.
I will let that know that they got you.
See,
I know. Don't get wrong.
really hard of hearing. I apologize. And apologies, your folks. What I do want to proffer to the court was a large chunk of the proceeding was the photographs, which very much verified things that had to be fixed. And these aren't pursuant to a fire. Yes, there were outlets that had to be replaced that were burned up. Maybe they were part of some sort of electrical fire, but there were electrical upgrades that need to be done. You're not going to sell a house with lead-based paint flipping and peeling everywhere. He had a ton of work to do on this. And then there were major repairs on the exterior for bank financing to happen. And just garbage left throughout the basement. A lot of things that just had to be cleaned up, had to be scraped, upgrades to cabinetry that had to be done. Thankfully, we've had an executor that has some construction background, was able to pull this off. I'm more than willing to hand this to you, but we had a long hearing about the repairs that he made to make it sellable, and it has finally put under contract. He didn't just get it under contract so that he could bring us to closing. It took that long for us to be able to make the capital improvements, which he made. So I think had we had contract in hand, Gavin Ward's recommendations would have been very different, because we would have finally been moving this to a conclusion. As the court, excuse me, as the commission is aware, I think it's 4414, which is the appointment of intestate administrator. There is a presumption and a preference toward family members. This is just going to be one of those family members where half of them love him, half of them think he's not doing enough. And part of it's because he's called family members on things that came out missing, not naming names, but called family members on things that came up missing, furniture pieces that were traded out. And I think that is the obligation of what we make executors do. They're supposed to be the stewards of the property, and that has ruffled some feathers. But that being said, it is disingenuous to suggest just one thing. And we're talking about walls that all in the basement that had to be dry locked and sealed because moisture was coming in. We have mold issues. All that had to be remediated. And I know what they're saying. Well, we didn't see any of that when we, basically mom's money, because we were conservator, funded our existence and we lived there for free and took care of her. And thank goodness family members step up and do that.
Oh, my
But that being said, there's a value that is received when you serve as in that capacity. My client understands now that we're not talking about the stuff that happened before she passed away. And I know a large chunk of today's been trying to get into that, but I proffer that I was in that hearing. I know what improvements we discussed, including repair of there's nothing we can do about the repair of the sidewalks, the repair of the driveway. We had to have those things fixed if it was going to be sold for something other than firehouse sale. And it is under contract now. I don't think, again, if we would have been able to get the football up to that point, we would have really been making a recommendation for the sheriff because the statute doesn't recommend that. And again, you're going to have a 50-50 split over people who think he's done a good job and people that think he hasn't, largely connects with which camp you're in, but that doesn't necessarily mean we need to defy the statute.
Mr. Dunlap, at which point did your client engage a real estate agent? Did a real estate agent make the recommendations that these upgrades be made, or did he unilaterally decide that?
No, there were a real estate agent made. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I would have made these recommendations, and I had 36 rental properties. You had outlets that were two-pronged, that weren't grounded, that people had, space heaters cause those things to melt. They look like an ice cream cake in June. You just had things like that had to be taken care of, ma'am, or else it would have been an at will. Sorry. It would have been one of those as is sales. If you don't mind, let me ask my client the exact date he contracted with the last real estate agent, because I don't want to give you a half answer. Is that okay, ma'am?
What would be the first, wouldn't it? I mean, I want to know who recommended, because when you said cabinetry, like a lot of times that's not worth the investment. So really? I want to know. Well, I want to know.
Absolutely. And you're not in the room. I showed pictures of what is circa 1965 Brady Bunch cabinet sort of.
Yeah, but how much value did that add? So what I'm asking is, which expert, at what time did he engage somebody who is an expert in the sale of property who recommended that these upgrades be made?
Sure. The appraisal was recommended by the real estate agent. They'll give him a copy of it apparently at the closing. But the real estate agent, when did you contract with her? That's the question.
2 days after I was appointed, I got this woman to put it on the market. 3 days later, she told me to remove the sign. She got so many phone calls from people in the family that was against it. She had to remove the sign.
And ma'am, I didn't go into those issues just because of the contention that
okay. Well, yeah, that didn't really answer my question though, did it? So
he said 2 days after it had actually been, he took executorship. So
he engaged somebody and he took it off the market.
The agent,
so the agent clearly didn't. Well, and clearly didn't make recommendations of improvement because that agent listed it, right? So at what point does somebody recommend that all these specific improvements that were facilitated by your client be made?
Ma'am, those are great questions. Steve, get up here. And just for the commissioners that are unaware, he does have all of these expertise in development. Start there.
Okay, I'm Steve Long, okay? I built over 60 homes, 3 subdivisions. My sister Brenda went through this money that my mom, she got like $2,800 a month.
We're not talking about that, sir.
When I got the house, and when I got there, the house was destroyed.
Yes.
The hot water tank was leaking, all the outside the blocks never been painted. And since I painted it in 2001, all the decking was all stripped off, the whole house. I got pictures that show all of the damage. And so I'm 67 years old, and I did my first house here when I was 23 in Fayetteville. So, and I built all these homes. So I got experience myself to know what's going on.
Sir, time out.
Mr. Long, we're getting off on a tangent here. I'm not asking about your experience, because when you're a fiduciary, you need to get some objective input too. And I'm asking who recommended. Your experience isn't in selling real estate, it's in construction. So who what objective party told you to make those improvements, and at what time did they do that? That's what I want to know the answer to, and that's it. I don't want to know anything else.
3 days after I listed, they told me take it off the market. It was only going to bring about 50,000. I did the work for it, and it came
Who
in.
told you to take it off the market?
O'Connell at Beckley.
The real estate agent?
Yes, and I got another real estate agent, and they have had nothing but trouble out of these people since the day they listed.
Okay, now time out a second. That's beyond the thing.
I understand.
A realtor told you,
Yes.
sir, you have to do these upgrades in order to sell the house.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor's asking, when did they tell you that?
Probably 2 weeks after I listed with her.
And what year was that?
What year was it? What year?
24.
2024.
Okay, it was in
Okay.
24
That's
hours.
all. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
All of it happened within 3 weeks.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
If I may ask, Mr. Long or Mr. Dunlap, a couple questions. Rob, I'm sorry, Mr. Dunlap, did you, as I understand your comment, you said that this house is under contract to be sold?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
The 30th.
And when's the closing?
30th.
And what's the purchase price?
180.
And what was it listed for?
185.
And what is so I'm assuming that at the closing, Mr. Long is going to be asking, how were these renovations paid for?
I paid for all this out of my pocket.
Okay, is Mr. Long going to be asking to be reimbursed, I'm assuming, from the sale price for those renovations?
Yes.
Okay. What's the status of the personal property being distributed?
My understanding is the heirs have come through, selected and or picked through the things that they wanted. Keys have been returned to my office. We've extended past the time frame and continue to pay out of pocket the storage facility. So no one has communicated to our office that there's a specific piece of personality they believe they're still owed.
Is there any outstanding issues left then with the personal property, or are we simply left with the real estate?
We're simply left with the real estate, and as far as what is reasonable, we'll have to make a determination as to the capital improvements he made with it. And folks, I understand the commissioner's position. It would be great if he received the appraisal that he got, and for some reason the real estate agents hung on to. But in his area of expertise, he's able to identify that electrical upgrades need to happen, and it worked. We have a $50,000 house that's sold for 180. So I mean, I think that's, yeah.
Do you have proof it was first listed for 50?
There's been a lot of things, ma'am, that haven't been on my property today. I know, ma'am, I don't have a listing agreement, nor do I have affidavits from the agent that she basically took it off the market because she,
or even a printout of the listing. I mean, I'm just wondering, but also, I mean, what do you anticipate your client is going to charge for all of these upgrades?
I haven't asked him to put pen to paper to it yet, ma'am. Right now, we're just trying to make sure we get this sold before we lose our purchase, sir.
What is the closing date again?
The 30th, sir.
30th of January?
Yes, next week, next Friday. I have a question here. I'd like to say something to each and every one of y'all here. I mean, she said something about it to me. I want to let her know. It was about building and selling.
But you don't have to defend your building yourself.
Yeah, but I sold all these houses myself.
I got you.
Not only built them, I sold them.
You have a good reasonable ability to judge, right, or to make a determination. Okay.
Many years.
Okay, good deal.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, at this point, is there anyone else that would like to say something?
Yes, my name is Kenneth Long.
Kenneth Long.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
in Florida.
Okay.
You're in Daytona Beach.
Yes, I'm in Daytona Beach.
All right. What do you have to
Made
add?
a dozen trips right there for nothing really. But I think that Steve is doing a fantastic job. He's already done everything that was what the judge pointed out for him to do. And I think he should stay in there until it's done. The house has already got a contract underneath of it. So why you need to take him out and put someone else in? Just let him finish it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
John, may I say something? We've heard from every beneficiary, the list of beneficiaries, we've heard from every.
Brian
We
Berry.
should have Scott.
Brian Berry,
Brian?
is Brian Berry represented?
He's not, and he's on the call, but he's muted. He can't unmute himself. Let's try.
Did he try *6 on his keypad?
Brian, did you hit *6 if you can hear me, sir? Apologies.
That's okay.
What's the address? What's the address of that?
Brian Berry.
No, the house that's being sold? The house is being sold. What's the physical address?
It's 204 Highland Avenue.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Is
Can you
this
hear me now?
Brian Berry?
This is Brian Berry.
Okay, we would like to
Yeah.
hear from you, sir.
My goodness. Yes, I think Steve Long should stay in charge. He's done an excellent job. I'm just an heir.
Is that an okay?
And, pardon me?
No, you're all right. Go ahead, speak.
Yeah, I just think Steve Long needs to be in charge and see this through to the end. I don't think we need anybody else in charge of it. I think Steve Long's done an excellent job. He should be in charge of it. I live all the way down here in Port Charlotte, Florida, and I think he's doing an excellent job. So the best thing, from my point of view, is to leave him in charge so all the heirs can get what they're owed and be done with it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
May I approach?
You can just stay right there. That's fine. It's easier for you.
Pictures have been used. And so, you know, I feel that if the other party can use pictures, I think we should be able to use pictures.
Well, ma'am, we're not looking at the pictures. We're past that point. We're
Well-
just checking to see if Mr. Long,
He made a comment just a minute ago,
okay,
and I could not,
Same thing going on. No.
this is what they said, that he said we went and got the key for. This is what was put in there. Empty paint cans, propane bottles, this year great big steel thing that came out of a furnace. That's what was put in that building, stacked from top to bottom. There's stuff in there that we've never laid eyes on before in our life. And so, I mean, you know, that's the important stuff that Steve put in that storage building. And we, my niece, we're talking about realtors. My niece had a realtor come in shortly before we were taken off of it. A realtor came in and went clear through the house. A realtor from Oak Hill went clear through the house. They had nothing to complain about the house. No complaints whatsoever of putting it on the market.
Well, and we understand that, but what we're deciding now is not what the value is.
Well, I'm not interested in the value.
We
I just,
want to know, who do you want to handle these matters?
I want to know who the realtors was so that we can talk to the realtor who came and saw.
Have a
Mom's
seat, ma'am.
house.
But that'll be for a different day.
Okay,
But we appreciate you. We appreciate it.
all right. Thank you all. This is unfortunately something that has to be settled by us. It's a shame that it couldn't have been done by the family. So at this point in time, I am recommending that we go into executive session for attorney information. And we will be back as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Second.
Sure, oh, okay.
Same guy. He's got to do something here. So he has time. I think I will too, but.
That's an uncomfortable one because it's time. We're past the point where no one could ever say anything about it.
So then unplug.
That's what you.
Yeah, it's days.
Electronic.
People go exactly know their fingers, so it's.
Reset. Don't know.
And you're live.
You're good.
Okay. Welcome back. We just came back from executive session and wow, that thing is hot. And no decisions were made.
Oh, they're gonna move on. It was an hour earlier.
It's on now. We got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So Commissioner Taylor?
All right. So the fiduciaries commissioner's reasons for recommending removal appeared to be that Mr. Long took too long to dispose with the personal items and the real estate in the estate. At this point, the personal items have been resolved, and the only thing left is the real estate, and there's a contract on the table that appears to be at market value based upon our internet searches and the listing price. It is not the sheriff's responsibility to always administer estates, and certainly if there are living heirs who are able to do it, willing and able to do it. That's usually the last ditch effort when there's nothing left. The third thing is it's the county commission's responsibility to make decisions that are in the best interest of the estate. And at this point, there's only one thing remaining. It's the sale of the house. And in 9 days, that sale is supposed to go through, and it should go through at market value. Even though I agree there were some irregularities with the disappearing furniture and that Mr. Long was doing things unilaterally without getting other experts involved or objective opinions based on the pictures on the estate. I'm going to move that we go ahead and keep Mr. Long as the executor, because the last thing left is to sell the house. The heirs will have the opportunity to contest the distribution of the proceeds from the house. If they think his billing against it is unfair, if they have claims themselves against, those proceeds, they can make those in a different setting. For now, it's just a matter of what's in the best interest of the estate. It's my view that based on the legal advice we received, that it is in the best interest of the estate for the sale to go through on January 30th. In order for that to happen, we need to keep Mr. Long as executor. Once that's done, hopefully the estate will close. So I'm going to move that we deny the fiduciary commissioner's recommendation to remove Mr. Long and leave him as the executor or the administrator of the estate. Executor, he's executor.
I second the motion.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this point, we'll go back into executive session for more legal advice.
On the issues we mentioned previously, right?
All of us.
All right, Commissioner Taylor, you back?
I'm back.
All right.
Okay, so I'll start with amending my original motion that we approve the vouchers and invoices except for the tax and the groceries, which were not paid. So,
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye. All right, and then with regard to the letter, Mr. Keenan, I move that we have the prosecuting attorney send a letter to Mr. Keenan advising him that we believe the statute of limitations has run, that his proposed lawsuit is frivolous, and that we do not intend to negotiate or settle.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye. With regard to GST, I move that we approve extending the GST contract for 6 months only, starting January 1st through the end of June.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
You might want to amend that to just simply be that it's an offer to GST, and assuming they accept the offer, then the commission will approve it.
Yes, counter offer. So I move that we submit a counter offer to GST to extend the contract for 6 months only from January 1st to June 30th.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You get mine?
Okay, we have I would like to talk about a proclamation.
Resolution.
Resolution.
And I wrote the darn thing. To start or to establish an entity to support and advise the Fayette County Animal Shelter. It's something that we need. It's important that we continue to work as hard as we can to save as many animals as we can. And this board will help us do that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. We have a motion and second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
And
Motion to adjourn.
Well, wait. I move that we postpone the criteria for the spay and neuter to January 30th meeting.
Rescind my motion.
second,
Second.
we got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye. Will you please make that again?
Move to
Commissioner?
adjourn.
Second.
All right.